how perfect is it to do Shiver Star in the month of December? Hello anybody, I'm Mr. Devious, or just Deeb, and welcome back to Let's Play Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards. Now, in the last episode, we did the first two levels of Shiver Star, and in today's episode, we are going to be finishing it up. We're going to be doing the latter half, starting with this happy level right here. I love this level. I'm just gonna... Wait a minute, I shouldn't... Yeah, I can be here. I just love this level, by the way. Just the opening, the snow... And there's this big building, and you might be wondering what this big building is. And there's also a piece of thing up here. There's a piece of cake. Probably fell out the window and it just landed up there. I love this level. I love the aesthetic of it. It's all nice and cold, and it's like a shopping mall aesthetic. And you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Christmas, and I love Christmas. Christmas is one of my favorite times of year. And not that that's particularly special. Christmas is a special time for many people. And I'm gonna take... Good job, Sir Kibble. You boomeranged me in the back. But yeah, you might be thinking this doesn't really look like a shopping mall with like conveyor belts, but think of them as escalators. And then like the balcony areas, they do look like a shopping mall. And the snow aesthetic, it just feels like Christmas. This is definitely the theme I got when I was playing this level. And it's going to become more apparent as we go further throughout the level, but I like Shiver Star for its levels. I think Shiver Star is probably my favorite world in the game. Maybe. It's certainly not Rock Star or Water Star or Aqua Star or Neo Star, so it's either Shiver Star and it's not Pop Star either, so it's either this world or the next one. And, well, I guess we'll see. Of course, there are these snakes on the conveyor belts that are trying to mess with you. They are jerks. And this is a very easy crystal shard to find. And you just get it and you're fine. He's just kind of hanging out with his boulder. But that's okay because we shuriken him in the face and he explodes. We ride up the elevator. This is, again, cute. And here we are in, like, the different sections of the store. I don't know what it is, like, space Christmas trees or something, and moles that shoot bubbles. Get out of here, you. And you're riding up these adorable little elevators. This is like a mall made for kids, and, see, there are blocks. Blocks are for children. Like building blocks, and you can use them to friggin' frogs. And avoiding them, riding up on higher, more blocks, more blocks and things. And whoa! Actually, I'm gonna see if I can't get a new power-up in this area in some way. Where I'm gonna take Needle and try to combine it with something a little new. I might go downstairs. I could go downstairs to get like another to get it combined with Blade, but I don't think I'm going to do that. More blocks! There are so many blocks in this place. What other place would have this many colorful blocks other than a toy store? Or like a shopping mall or something. I know I go down to the shopping mall to get blocks. Okay, that's a little silly. But hey, now we can get a new power-up. Blocks, not blocks. Blocks and blocks and blocks. That's all my vocabulary is now. Spikes and bombs makes you into a Gordo. It's great. Because you kind of hover through the air with the greatest of ease, but then you shoot out projectiles in 8 directions, so you get to cover a lot of areas. Now, and then there's this boss, which like other mini-bosses in Kirby 64 is very ineffective. Like, his minions don't really come after you, they just kind of float around and make the sky a little more precarious. But, I mean, I guess he can catch you off guard like he just did there, but other than that... He does dodge out of the way more than most other bosses, though, I will give him that. But he's not particularly anything special either, and he's dead. Another crystal shard for us to go on our way. I used to think there were 100 crystal stars in this game, but then I realized that's probably unlikely. What are you doing, Adelaide? You are drawing fruit. Those are fruits. So what is that, a lemon, an orange? I think that's an orange... And grapes? Grapes are purple, right? So what we need to do is we need to take the colors of those particular fruit and try to figure out which colors they are. So lemon is yellow, orange is orange. I wonder which one was named first. And grapes, I think those are grapes. Grapes are purple. They can also be green, but generally they seem to be purple more often. I like grapes. I like fruit. Plant store. See, we're in a mall. We're in the entomologist section where clearly the plants have come to life and devoured their shopkeepers or whatever. Speaking of which, where are all the people in this shop? This is a terrible run shop. And here, furniture store. And those aren't very carefully placed. Those are instant kill, by the way, if those hit you. Oh, no! They're also kind of a little finicky about triggering them. And I can make it. That one is kind of wide. You want to be... Oh. This whole section makes me a little uncomfortable with all the falling things attempting to crush you. An aquarium is a shopping mall with blocks and furniture and blocks, and this is getting punchy again. So yeah. Also, this ability makes a cool sound, can I just say? My only gripe with this power-up, really, is that it actually can be a little hard to aim if things aren't directly above, to the side, or diagonal, or below you. Like, it covers a lot of ground, but not necessarily the ground you... Jerk. Not necessarily the ground you want. So I'm going to switch over to electricity. I'm not going to combine it with blades, even though we haven't seen that yet, because we'll be... Would you get up... There we go. I'm not going to be combining it with blades because we'll be using that a little bit later, and it's going to be cool, but that'll be for the next section. TV store. Also, we were just in a hardware store. I'm telling you, this is a shopping mall. I don't know what else it would be. That is the weirdest looking plug I've ever seen. But that's okay, because now we have electricity, and that lets us go into trance mode. I like those little plug enemies. I like plugs. Wait, don't take that the wrong way. Okay, let me explain myself. I mean, never mind. And the cannon store. Everyone loves the cannon store. These Shotzos actually aim pretty closely at you, so you do need to be kind of careful. See, their aim isn't bad. Thankfully, you can hang out behind those blocks and just kind of use them as cover. I've always liked this in like 2-dimensional or 2.5D games, when you can use things like the environment to block enemies who are on a different area that you can't get to them, if that makes sense. Like, even though I'm moving on, I'm moving like in an arc, but I'm basically moving left and right. I don't have any agency over a third axis. So it's nice that they kind of add in agency in those little ways, so that's nice. That's my favorite part about 2.5D games, probably. Well, also the fact that they're pretty. Anyway, we are not going to go on to this level yet because we need to get Needle, so I'll be back. I think Needle is easy to get in here. I was right, he's like the second enemy in there. So now that we have Needle, we're going to be going down, we're going to be leaving the shopping mall and going over to this happy, cheery place that has just left its entrance wide open, or rather a secret exit or a secret entrance in wide open while the front doors are locked. And we get a huge tonal shift with the music. It's no longer cheery and bouncy. This is actually a very popular track in the series, so don't underestimate it, I guess, is the lesson here. Yeah. This is a very popular track in the series, in the Kirby series. This is one of the most famous and one of the most fan-acclaimed, whatever. You know what I'm saying. So we got Spike because to get through those boxes, we need to combine it with Rock, and that is how we'll be getting through those blocks. But we don't have Rock. I could have sworn that there was Rock. Here we go. Because as said before, that axe is Rock, and combining Rock with Point makes one of my favorite power-ups in the game. They drill. The drill. And of course, this will let you fire through these blocks. You do kind of have to be careful here to avoid the Shotzos taking, well, shots at you, but for the most part, this isn't too tough. This is a good track, by the way. Also, interesting change in aesthetic. We went from an actual snow level to the sky to a shopping mall to now a factory that just seems to be building, well, we don't know what it's building, to be precise, but it's just a cool factory with jigsaw wallpaper, because everybody likes jigsaw puzzles. I haven't done a puzzle in so long. That's irrelevant. So we come in here, and our friend King Dedede is back to the rescue. I like how King Dedede shows up usually about once per world, and that's usually pretty great. He can break through these walls. I don't think these hammers are instant kill, but they will damage you, obviously. They won't just squeak on your head like, squeak! That was not a good squeak. My throat is itching. So yeah, this section isn't too hard. The main thing you have to deal with is, of course, the continual motion pushing you back as you try to go through it, but for the most part, it's just a fun little thing. Just, you know. I find these sections more cathartic than anything. They're simple, they're to the point, they don't have a lot of flair to them or a lot of complexity. It's just running around with your hammer and smashing stuff. And that just feels good. And getting electrocuted sometimes. And avoiding these guys so they don't kill us. We get to the end, and of course Kirby is like, I'm gonna go alone. I guess that's what he must be saying, because otherwise DDD wouldn't be throwing him, unless Kirby's like, hey, look at that, and DDD's like, I'm tired of you, and just throws him away. What is that in the background? Is that a genetically engineered hippo? This part's actually kind of weird. And there's a bird in there. This place suddenly got a little bit more uncomfortable, because we don't know what they're building or doing here, and there are test tubes, and we want Blade, by the way. That's going to be one of the abilities we'll need to get the other crystal shard in this level that needs a power-up, and we can get crushed. Conveyor belts are usually a pretty standard way of adding challenge into a level, but I'm not usually the biggest fan of conveyor belts, just because they can generally, their function is to slow you down. I prefer conveyor belts, actually, if they push you forward and make challenge in speed, rather than a directive force pushing you back and just kind of slowing it down. Oh my god, it's a kitty. It's a cute kitty. Just, again, in a creepy test tube. So what we want to do here is, well, that sucked. We want to get lightning, but I'll be right back. Okay, as I was saying, you don't want to raise the power up over your head here. What you want to do is you want to activate him, and then... Damn it! Oh no! Alright, we're back over here again. Let's see if we can't... Oh great, he destroyed it. I'm gonna go get that sandwich. Arrgh! Well, that was dumb. Good job. You know, it's the second last world, the final level of the second last world. It's to be expected that there'll be challenges along the way. Let's try and get this guy instead. Okay, so we want to put it over your... That was not the right button. Okay, I think I remembered what you have to do. Okay, first, trigger him, bring him down, and then take it out of your mouth, and then press the C up button, which is the X button on the classic controller, and that gets us our new power-up, which we need. Oh yeah! I'm sorry, that was really lame. But this is, well, it's exactly what it looks like. It's a lightsaber. That's all it is. And you want to bring it down here and just go Darth Maul on this bird, and just kind of wait for it to come back. But it's like all the other mini bosses, it just does what its smaller versions does, so it's not really worth showing off. And that's where our crystal shard is. So we want to get out our lightsaber. Interestingly enough, I've never seen Star Wars outside of Episode 4, so you know. That's a thing. For the most part, this ability is functional. I think this is more cool than actually functional, though. Like, it covers the area around you pretty well. But as far as weapons go, the fire sword generally does the same thing and also offers you coverage from above. So the main thing this thing has going for it is that it's just cool. I mean, it's a lightsaber. That's what it is. You can't deny it. I mean, it's not necessarily the right shape and color, but I mean, look at it. Oh god, this was a bad idea. And I got pinched on a corner and died. Well. Okay, so I got a little greedy there. But that's okay, because it's not that far from here. Although I do have to be careful, because if I die again to an instant death thing like that, that's a game over. And that would be really dumb to get a game over. No! Cannon shot me! I was gonna stop being greedy, but then the cannon shot me and nearly killed me. That would have been really stupid. I would have felt really stupid, that is. But thankfully we are okay. We can just hang out in here. And this crushy section is just... Oh, that's dangerous. Thankfully, I'm not gonna risk that. This is a very difficult section. The final portion of this level is actually very hard now that I come to think of it, with a lot of like instant death stuff. And when I say very hard, I mean very hard in terms of Kirby. Of course I do. Which, when you're acclimated to an easy game, normal challenges can become much harder just as a result of that. It's true. Now for this section, I think there is the crystal shard. In order to get it, we need to be very quick. So let's go! That is not the crystal shard, but the crystal shard will be over here at the end of this path, maybe? Nope, that's just meat. But if this hits us, it's game over. Fudge. Can I get it? No, that's just a sandwich. It's at the end of this section, then. You just want to jump over these dudes, go as fast as you can, get the crystal shard, and wow, that one's moving fast. Ah! But you're okay. But then you see that this one's coming from you from the other side, so you need to get in between here and wait for them to back off. That's good game design. You have enough time to react, enough time to panic a little bit, and it's cute. It's a nice take on what happens in the stage, and it kind of keeps you on your toes, and I really like that. And what the hell is this thing? What is this factory even? It just makes cats. It's a cat factory. This place would be great in Maine. They would love it in Maine. I'm gonna stop talking now and get myself that card. Because now that we've taken care of all of that, we are gonna be fighting the boss. And what better boss to fight than a giant robot in the middle of the city? This guy has a really weird name. It's like a bunch of numbers and letters, like robots tend to be. He's gonna launch missiles at you from above, but you can't eat them for bombs. He'll then swing his arms together and try to hit you with them. And then you attack his arms. His weak points are his arms for this fight. And a lot of his attacks are just kind of trying to slap you around, and it's kind of funny, actually. But this is a little bit spooky, especially if you look at the detail on the background in the background there. That's just downright ominous, just the coloration of the buildings in the background. But I digress. I only have 2 health left, so I need to be careful here. He'll fire his missiles, but they always land in the same places, so you can always stand in the middle and be safe. So that's no big deal. Hit him once, hit him twice. And now that we've beaten this phase, it's time for him to change into Predator mode, or whatever. Now that he's changed forms, he is a Transformer. It is our job to continue shooting him as he launches missiles at us, and as the stage just kind of progressively moves. He'll snap at you, but you can always dodge it with an effective jump. Oh god, I'm down to 1 HP. This is thankfully not too hard to avoid, and I think he's going on a bombing run here. Or he's just trying to kind of land on us. This is... Come on. That's just silly. Oh, and I died. That move is actually pretty hard to predict, admittedly. Whoa, and we didn't see that laser before, so that's a new attack that you get to see because I died. So you're welcome that I died. And I may as well keep this part in because it's showing we're almost there. He just needs to make another attack for us to spit back at him. You might be wondering why I threw away my attack for this fight, and that was expressly in the interests of keeping this fight a little bit longer. But now he's not doing an attack where I can... Come on. Do your thing. I said only needed to get 1 more hit, and of course, it becomes more difficult. And I got cocky there, so I suffered for it. But if you can hit him on that swing, you can also get an attack ready for this phase by sucking in those blocks. Like so. Unfortunately, he doesn't take damage until he is, well, in the right frame of mind, I guess, when he's in the mood. He also sucks up a missile from... He also shoots a missile from his butt, but you can't suck up the whole thing, only the missile head. And then the rest of it will continue to fly at you, so that can very easily catch you off guard. So, you know, be careful. Snip! Snip. I think it's really cool how his arms turn into scissors. That's really cool. He's almost toy-like in nature, how he's a big transformer and how colorful he is, but then this is a Kirby game, so that's to be expected. But otherwise, What is he? Why is he here? But this logic can be applied to pretty much any Kirby boss. But I digress. We just need to get one more... Ow! We need to get one more hit, and that's it. System failure. And he spits out the crystal shard, and that is all of our time spent on the planet Earth! That's right. But for now, before I explain that cutscene, touching cutscene. Oh, well, that's cute. They just had to get in one last little cute little funny moment in their moment of resolution. But yes, that is Ripple Star. That was the planet at the start of the game that was infected with dark matter. This is where the story is finally coming back into play, because we haven't really been seeing dark matter throughout these 4 planets we've been tackling along the way. And it's only now coming kind of back into relevancy. And you can also kind of loop between the levels now. But yes, as I said, this is the planet Earth. It has a moon. If you look carefully, you can see the continents. There's Africa, South America. There's Africa. There's Asia. That is a post-apocalyptic Earth. Boom. How is that for cool and creepy in a Kirby game? So yeah, that's good to know. But that is Shiver Star. And this is Ripple Star. But we won't be starting on that this episode because we just had a long episode finishing up Shiver Star. So in the next episode, we will be moving on to the final world of Kirby 64, Ripple Star. I'm Mr. Devious or Just Deeb, and I hope to see somebody then.